What's going on, everyone? This is City Wrestling Radio, and this is the B Show. I'm your host, Corey Smith. I'm hanging out via the magic wonders of the internet with my co-host of the day.
It still baffles me, the wonders of the internet.
There's zeros and ones and ones and zeros, and for some reason that equals 3.
But there's 2 of us.
Exactly.
There's 3 of us because it includes you, the listener.
Watching at home, yes, or listening at home.
Yes.
But I'm your host, Corey Smith, joined via Zoom call with my co-host.
I mean, nobody ever really watches YouTube videos, YouTube video podcasts anyway, unless I put this in the screen.
You're Michael Vergara.
I guess, yeah.
That's what I was trying to get around to say.
That's what it says is bottom right. Okay. I put it right.
Wherever you put it today, yes.
Yeah.
But how are you today, sir?
Oh, it's doing swell. It is a. If you look at your watch, I'm going to move my head over there. Look at my Chromecast. It says 10:22. We are in a new time. We are uploading these.
We're trying
in the morning. You know, like we had this. Yeah.
This is the B Show where we review AEW Dynamite and NXT weekly, and we felt we need to get these done a little sooner.
In a timely manner, and we just realized we're both available at this time. We've been doing this for a very long time, and it's like, oh, wait a minute. We're going on. Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like the first week I am available to do this at this time.
Well, that's quite a blessing.
But
I mean, it's always a blessing when we do these shows.
It truly is. But so far, I like it.
It's all right. It's relaxing. I don't have to wake up and drink some coffee. It's like, oh God, I gotta do this. Shit.
Well, I'm still drinking my coffee because there are some people that are watching along in the morning time. They're just waking up, so I want to hang out with them.
Listeners from England.
Well,
it's morning over there.
We're not live, so I mean, that's the next step is we got to go live.
Hope you have good internet.
Nonetheless, like I said, this is the B Show where we review AEW Dynamite and NXT from
Wednesday.
From Wednesday. Let's just say from Wednesday.
Yeah.
We also got a little bit of news to get into today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe at CWR415, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. To stay up to date with City Wrestling Radio and all the cool things we post. And we post news,
stuff happens. Stuff happens.
You don't want to follow all the big time wrestling podcasts guys like that.
To those ladies and germs at big time wrestling news podcasts.
You want to be like the cool hipster wrestler.
We're out for your ass.
Exactly.
We're gonna rule ass.
We're some would say we do rule a lot of ass.
Someone said that. Yes.
Yes.
We'll get there.
Nonetheless, follow us, your local made podcast. Wherever you're from.
Because they grow on trees. We made this.
Wherever you're from, we are your locally made podcast. So thank you.
We're the Trader Joe's of podcast.
Oh, and click that little notify button if you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe. Blah 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 blah. Anyways, let's get into some news, shall we?
Yes.
Kairi Sane.
Recently written off. Kairi Sane, if you watch Monday Night Raw, and apparently not a lot of people did because it did an all-time low now.
Well, I mean, it's Raw, but anyway. Kairi Sane bids farewell to the WWE and thanks her fans via Twitter. She did thank both WWE staff and fans. The following tweet she put out, I believe it was last night or a couple nights ago. My time in the NXT and WWE locker room was incredible. Everybody was kind, funny, and talented. So every day was full of happiness. Also, I was saved by the supportive staff behind the scenes. I will forever love and respect all these professionals I had the pleasure of working with. I was able to accomplish so much in the last 3 years, but it wasn't because of my ability or my strength. It was because of my constant warm support from my fans. Oh, Kairi, you're building a heart. I'm so thankful I could meet you all. You didn't meet me, so I mean, it's cool though. Don't worry about it. You do you.
Anyway,
thank you from the bottom of my heart, Kairi Sane.
Well, thank you, Kairi. At least I got to see your elbow drop live.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We were at that SmackDown show in the Chase Center.
And I did
to that terrible theme song.
I was at the that War Games. I believe she faced Shayna Baszler.
There we go.
Anyways, but yeah,
one of the best elbows in the business, and by all accounts and assumptions, it's by what's reported is that she is heading back to Japan. That's where her newlywed husband apparently lives, and now she's gonna spend it's assumed that she's gonna like wrestle a couple of years in Japan, but like she's gonna retire like a year later.
She's like, when's that bank account filled?
When the check clears. When the check clears.
Yeah. All right, I'm good.
Yeah.
She's like waiting for WWE to be like, hey, can we just give you that ambassador deal? And she'll be like, yeah, man.
But as far as, I mean, and listen, she could come back. Like, it's not, what Sting says. The only thing that's for sure is that nothing's for sure. But Kairi Sane in the WWE, looking back at it now, she, I don't want to say they didn't do right by her. There's definitely arguments that wasn't the case. Yeah. But she was a very charismatic individual in that company. She kind of stood out. She was given a terrible gimmick at first, which I thought my immediate reaction was that it was terrible, but then
pirate.
Yeah, but then she was the type of person that was able to like just go own it, and that's kind of one of the things that WWE likes in an individual, of being given, something that on the surface level isn't great, and then just make it great. She made me really want to play Soul Calibur again with that music, and I forgot best of luck to her, to anything she does. And she's earned it, because that woman has gone through the ringer in more ways than some. I mean, it's not just WWE where she really just took really dangerous bumps. Like, you see her work in Japan. Like, she took there's this one gif going around where she takes a pile driver from the apron to the floor. Yeah. She gets kicked in the head, like, during her days of Stardom. Like, Kairi Hojo, she definitely put bumps in her bump card, stamps.
Well, as you were saying, Kairi Sane was written off of television this past Monday night.
It's like a car door with Bailey.
Oh no, Bailey was kicking her. Remember?
Oh, okay. What did I hear? Car door? Yeah, whatever.
I don't know. She was kicking her, and Asuka said, well, I'm going to lose my title by count out because my friend's more important, which, in some respects is more respectable. I
mean, she could have just held on to, she had the match won, right? But then, like, if she just held on to that.
Drag Saw shot with you. Hey, I'm not going to get in here to dispute how Asuka could have won that match. But Kairi Sane was beaten up by Bailey backstage, and that's that.
That's curtains for Kairi.
Kairi, thank you. I appreciate it.
Here's your parking. It's validated and all that stuff.
Yeah. So, best of luck to her and her family. To me, it seems like she's going to go to Stardom for a couple of years. But
WWE Japan, it's a great way to upstart that company.
Even if she does go to Stardom, doesn't Stardom have like the thing about like people not competing past the age of like 23? Like,
I don't think so.
I thought that was like a thing. And am I completely misguided right here?
I don't know.
That they're like women retire usually at like the age of like 23, 25.
They usually retire just because they literally can't continue.
Okay.
That seems to be the.
No, I thought it was like one of those things where,
because we wouldn't have Mako Satomura like wrestling.
No, that's true. I'm not saying every woman in Japan
or Emi Sakura. Like, yeah, there's like women women wrestlers, like women like Joshi. Like, I don't know why I forgot that. Yeah, they seem to have built a certain reputation of retiring early because they just can't sustain that style for a very long time. And not just because they're women, just by sheer design of what those type of matches are. Yeah. Anybody can get fucked up by those level of kicks and elbows and pile drivers to the floor.
Well, there's a reason why
Kairi, not the ring.
There's a reason why Kairi is going home, and I think it seems to go home, be married, and
in the middle of a pandemic, and
start a family. Well, I mean, we can't sit here and live our lives like, well, we can't do this because it's a pandemic. This is our lives now, and we just have to live.
It was a very recent, it's a very important life decision that she made. So
yeah, I mean, good for her. I'm happy for her. Nonetheless, she's not the only one starting a new life. Michael.
Oh, Rusev?
Yes, he's starting a brand new life as a Twitch gamer.
Well, I'm just going to read this off. Fightful. Rusev is seemingly done wrestling. Since being released by WWE on April 15th, Rusev has started streaming games online through Twitch. He's grown support with the Handsome Chatters, which is his Twitch partners. Yeah, he made Twitch Partner, which is a way of earning money through Twitch now.
Can we be a partner?
Give me a quality microphone and a webcam, and we'll talk, Corey.
Can I play just like Super Mario Brothers or something?
I mean, that's you can literally do anything on Twitch.
Is there like something like that's not like the exact opposite of a speed run?
You mean like a slow burner?
There you go. I like that. Yeah. I'll do that. It's just like some guy smoking weed.
Be the Orange Cassidy of Twitch streamers, which is Twitch streamers. So yeah, Rusev was asked if he was done wrestling or if he would go back to WWE. He replied, "I'm done, man. I'm done. I'm just enjoying my Twitch. I'm a professional Twitcher, YouTuber, content creator." Later, when someone said Rusev was his favorite wrestler, he said, "I'm not a wrestler anymore. Can I be your favorite streamer?" I mean, like, what he says right now is pretty like definitive, but it's easy to say, "Oh, it's a work or it's a phase," but
I don't think it's a work or a phase. I mean, I think
if he can make it work, that's going to be great for him. Like, why not? He could just be who he is. He's married to Lana. Yeah. He plays video games.
Well, if you think about it, it's really not a hard left for him. You're right. He is married to Lana. And if you think about his character as a person, even him in Total Divas was like this guy who was like he was a giant kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, if he can get paid to play video games, I'm sure he's like, yeah, that's way easier on my body than
how much. But the thing is, now that he's completely divorced himself as a wrestler and as a Twitch streamer, how long do you think he can retain his audience knowing him as the wrestling guy? Like he's going to have to figure out a way to adapt to those really unprecedented waters of being a streamer. Cause like so much of, people have yet to really just crack the code on that sort of thing. Like there are people who legitimately just make a ton of money being YouTubers and streamers. And I mean,
PewDiePie, right? That's one of them, right?
Yeah, PewDiePie. He's a very controversial YouTuber that I just generally just don't want to get into why I have my reaction that I have right now in regards to him. But Ninja from Fortnite.
Yes, Ninja.
Those guys. Yeah. Now Rusev or Miro TV. Have you been actually watching his YouTube channel?
Miro TV. No, I didn't watch it.
It's pretty entertaining. Like I kind of like it when he plays FIFA. I don't like actual soccer, but I love watching people play FIFA. And so there was this one really interesting game that got real good until he was down 2 goals and just straight up just turned off his Xbox and just rage quit. And I'm like, dude, like then are you just going to rage quit it every time you don't like playing a video game? Then you are in the wrong business in Twitch streaming. Or maybe you are in the right business. Maybe people want to see that.
Maybe that's what people are paying for. You know what I mean? Maybe that's.
I
want to see him flip out and Machka the whatever controller.
I mean, a lot of these wrestlers are pivoting towards this sort of, career. Like Cesaro has a Twitch account. I mean, Paige has a Twitch account. Kip Sabian recently, I mean, in the beginning of Dynamite.
I think Paige just like hangs out and talks on hers.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, hey, you can do that on Twitch. You can sit behind a green screen, surf the internet, and show people what you're looking at. Like I saw that video of Paige just looking over the video of OSW reviewing reviewing her movie. And how and she was just commenting on their commentary, and I just thought I am in a real deep rabbit hole right now. And oh god! And then
you were watching a video of Paige watching a video of a movie based on Paige's life
of a movie review of Fighting with My Family. So she talks over people talking over something, not talking over a thing, but then making a video podcast. It's like us it's like us making a podcast about this very episode. Like, you know, that part where Michael just rambled on and on about podcasts and people watching podcasts. Like, that was
how many days is Korey going to tell us at CWR 4 and 5? I mean, come on, he tells us every episode.
It's damn near lunacy. Yeah, best of luck, Miro. That's what he calls himself. To be Miro as his YouTube channel.
To be Miro.
He yells in Bulgarian every time he loses or is losing, which is always nice to hear.
I wonder how much his life
very beautiful language
too. You know, you think about the lifestyle he's lived so far. He's, you know, I don't know. You know, like he was traveling the world. He was, you know, lifting weights. He was
recovering from COVID.
Well, you know, he's recovering from COVID. Yeah, but I'm saying when working for the WWE. And, you know, he was working out all the time. And what now? I mean, now he's going to be a Twitch streamer just doing a job where he's sitting down all the time compared to a job.
Any company would want him besides WWE. Like, I feel like he just knows he's just kind of secure. And if he, yeah, probably. You know, I mean, they let him go. So, like, what makes you think they'll want him back in?
Because they let everybody back in eventually.
Yeah, eventually. So
unless you're Cody, well,
I don't know. This seems to be. I'm just saying I don't necessarily buy this as a long-term thing. But if he wants to make it work, then who am I to say that it won't?
No, I think
he's fairly entertaining. But if I were a betting man, I can see that dude being in the ring within the next year. Yeah. I'm going to say next year.
I'm going to say next year because
I feel like a lot of this year has just been kind of done with. We're just kind of writing off 2020.
Yeah, there's a song called F 2020, and
it's about effing 2020.
FU 2020. I'm flipping 2020 off right now.
I'm sure 2020 is pissed. Anyway,
pissed. Anyways, let's move on with some more news.
Cody Rhodes.
Sure. Let's talk about some Cody news.
He did an interview with ESPN.com with one Mark Raimondi, who's regularly known as an MMA writer, but he's also a huge wrestling fan. He wears Orange Cassidy shirts to UFC events all the time, and I love him for it. But it kind of goes through some pretty interesting subjects here. Like, Raimondi asks, when you say different talent, oh wait, hold on. If you were to choose, what would be your number one dream match for that AEW TNT Open title? No, title Open Challenge. I read that weird. He says off the top of my head, he chooses Ethan Page. He chooses Nick Aldis.
What about Nick Gage?
I mean, Nick Gage on national television? Like, that's a very curious thing to put my eyeballs in. Oh, here it is. He said
it's not a fucking New Jack, man. Come on.
That's true. Like, and he hasn't Nick Gage been kind of cleaning up. Like, not cleaning himself up, but then just more become a bit more TV friendly.
Hey, Nick Gage is a nice fucking guy, okay?
Yeah, and there's one question here that Mark asks. Those are talent names who are not under contract right now. If you could sign any free agent right now to AEW, who would it be? And this is what made me not that surprised. No, he said, I think there are two free agents that are on a lot of people's radar, that being Miro, formerly Rusev, and Matt Cardona, who was Zack Ryder. Obviously, those free agents should be on any radar. They've literally drawn money. They have TV experience. They have high-profile experience. They have locker room experience. The pros heavily outweigh the cons, which he doesn't necessarily, elaborate on those cons. But Raimondi also asks about Rey Mysterio, and he asks, if Rey Mysterio was a free agent, how aggressive would AEW be in trying to get Rey Mysterio? Cody responds, to me, the greatest luchador ever of all time, hands down, is Rey Mysterio. He's got friends here. Jericho and him are friends. Mysterio is not afraid to travel out there either. He's not a one-company individual, and I think Rey still has a lot left to give in terms of wrestling. That might be something that someone else is currently discussing with him at this point. You never know, meaning Rey Mysterio is probably staying in WWE.
Yeah. I mean, I don't doubt that.
That's a damn shame.
I don't doubt that anyways. Anyway, Cody should have answered isn't he a free agent? Oh, shots fired. They haven't given Rey Mysterio a contract. Boom, 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 boom.
I'm sure WWE is just fuming, Corey.
Well, WWE has people. I mean,
they talk about Kurt Angle and Tessa Blanchard, which...
Doesn't he want Tessa Blanchard in AEW as well?
I mean, he just mentions, like, the fact that Tully Blanchard works for them.
Damn Tully.
Oh, and he also another thing that he gets brought up is Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, where Cody just outright says there's no heat at all. Business is business. I think Carl Anderson, just to see his glow up and him get ripped, was great. And to look back at what he was able to do in New Japan, that guy is a superb talent. So really just Cody Rhodes, I'm just checking off him off the list of people in AEW who were pissed off at him. So,
you know what's funny? The other day I was on my Facebook, and you know who came up in my mutual friends list?
Your mom?
Luke Gallows.
Okay. Why? You just know somebody? He's just a mutual friend?
Yeah.
Was it your mom?
It was my mom.
Wow. Very nice.
I was like, Mom, get off Tinder. Seriously. You're embarrassing me.
You know, she has needs too, Corey.
You know, and then find out Luke Gallows is actually with somebody. And
Did you? I just remembered that Talking Shop podcast where he was talking about Luke Gallows was talking about his experience in Saudi Arabia, and he said, when at the absolute worst, I have this engagement ring on hand, I'm just going to sell this if any shit goes down. And I'm like, you're thinking this, and he himself said it like,
he's like,
I'm thinking this far ahead.
He's like thinking, like, where can I get
of escalation
around here? Where can I fucking drive to? What road am I going to take? Where am I going to go?
Yeah.
He's like, Carl, get in the fucking back. We're out of here. Their whole new gimmick is like in Impact. They're like fucking soldier boys.
So they just crank that all the time.
Yes.
They just yell out you.
Anyways, yeah. So Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, Cody Rhodes, and AEW, ESPN.
I mean, that's all I got for news.
Yeah. All right. And I got a little other piece of news, a little New Japan news. Actually, one piece of news I actually didn't pull up, but I remember, I think I have the whole story off the top of my head. This past week, New Japan Pro Wrestling announced the King of Pro Wrestling title, not the show, but the title.
Title. Keyword title.
Yeah. It's not a championship.
Because there's no belt.
No belt. But I guess at the end of every year you get awarded with something.
A pat on the back.
Hey, you did it.
But I mean, yeah, just know to explain it.
Okay, so it sounds like really interesting rules. It's going to be like 8 people, an 8-person tournament, right? And the opening round is going to be it's going to be different rules per match.
I'll have it on me. So
one could be a ladder match, one could be a tables match, one could be a cage match, one could be a lumberjack match.
Just stipulations, you know, just like something that's awesome. Just something shit that's just foreign to New Japan, and I think, and they made it and it was abundantly clear that this was all Okada's idea.
Yeah,
and to me, I think the fact that it was Okada's idea just makes me think that, you know, like as much as we rag on Orange Cassidy being like, oh, he needs a crowd, he loses something without a crowd, I'm willing to admit that Okada more or less loses a bit of his luster with the not lack of crowd, but lack of crowd response. That's been kind of what's going on with those New Japan shows. There is a crowd, not much of a reaction going on. You still need that reaction, but you can't because of the COVID. And I think Okada himself is just cognizant of like he's losing a little bit of something.
You think so?
Out of all these, I think so. Like his match with his matches so far, like his match with Evil did not set the world on fire at the New Japan Cup Finals.
Yeah,
that Sengoku, no one gave a shit about his match at Sengoku Lord. Like
Okada's Jiro Takahashi.
Yeah, like he was just sort of in a holding pattern and just sort of spiraling in a directionless void. You know, yeah. And for the fact that Okada is willing to, you know, come up with this idea, it's like, God damn it, guys, we need something. I need something. Let's go. Gato, what are you doing? Chop.
I mean, at the same time, it is a way to revitalize this. Like right now, I mean, we are on this, it's crazy. Coronavirus 2020, it fucking sucks. But like, you gotta like give us, like they're trying to give us something. And that's how I see this. They're trying to be like, you know what?
Getting evil.
Shit
being champion.
Shit sucks right now, but we're going to give you this really cool tournament that we just thought of. And we're going to do this because you guys are going to look at us and be like, oh, wait, you guys are pretty.
Gato, you've done it again.
You bastard. Yeah, you booking bastard.
Son of a bitch.
But yeah, no, I'm excited for it. See what happens. the King of Pro Wrestling tournament, and if Okada wins, so that'll be just
that's great. That'd be great. Because Okada always wins.
He's like, actually, every match he goes, I have extreme rules for every match, but you guys don't.
Also, 2 out of 3 falls. You got to pin me twice.
Yeah, and that ain't gonna...
And only me.
I'm Okada. Oh my god.
I mean, whoever lost to me whoever won against me in a 2 out of 3 falls match? Who?
Are you referring like Kenny? Was it Kenny Omega?
It was Kenny Omega.
Anyways, a little bit more of New Japan Pro Wrestling news. Hiromu Takahashi taking off this.
Yay! Oh,
no, he's taken off of this week's New Japan shows due to a shoulder injury.
Oh,
he was taken off the upcoming shows due to a shoulder injury. Posted on their website Tuesday night.
Was this because of Sengoku, Lord?
No, I believe this is directly afterwards.
Yeah.
So let's see. As that their medical team and their staff determined that Takahashi has suffered an injury to his left shoulder. As a result, Takahashi is off the July 31st card on Korakuen Hall. Despite the injury, New Japan Pro Wrestling wrote in the statement that he is expecting to return to his scheduled IWGP Junior Heavyweight title match against Taiji Ishimori on August 29th at Summer Struggle.
Man, talk about a struggle. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, technical difficulties are always a struggle. Anyways, nonetheless, Hiromu Takahashi off this week's card due to a shoulder injury. Will be back for his match, Taiji Ishimori. And I mean, if they're starting this whole Bullet Club revitalization, I see all the gold or silver or platinum or whatever New Japan covers the titles with.
Or they could just have Naito just win in the baseball stadium and just pretend none of this ever happened.
Oh, because he dresses like a baseball fan, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did you watch Sengoku Lord?
Nope.
None of it?
I was just not looking forward to an evil match with evil booking. Evil Bullet Club booking.
I mean, the booking was pretty evil.
Like Dick Togo was dressed up like a golf caddy, and
No, he was dressed up like Naito. Nobody got that.
Oh.
He had the white suit on like Naito does. And I was like, oh.
I think that's just
Dick Togo. And you know what's funny? Dick Togo made an appearance on mine and Jose's very first episode of Sunday Night Heat Review this past week.
Nice.
In Kaientai. And he was in Kaientai in WWE.
Yeah, well, choppy, pee-pee, let's go. Did that happen? Did he say that?
That was literally the episode right after where they said that.
Oh, it was great.
Like they said the Monday night before, and they showed the replay of that on the episode.
Well, Val Venus getting his penis cut off?
Oh, I can't wait for that to happen, dude. Honestly.
It happened.
Yeah. Honestly, when I look at the story, I'm just like, Yamaguchi-san, just go to your wife and be like, you're cheating on me. I don't want anything to do with you anymore.
It was just an era where they wanted to literally do anything just to keep eyeballs on the television screen and just shock the viewer as much as we can.
South
Like,
Park,
shit.
Playboy.
Shit. Like this was before the internet. So like people it was just that feeling of you have to be there. It's a FOMO. It's FOMO viewing.
Yeah.
And that's how what fueled that entire era.
Oh, and Mario Lopez fought Val Venus in this episode too.
Did Mario Lopez did he wear his wrestling gear also?
No, he jumped the rail and
he's Mario Lopez is a legit amateur wrestler. Also, he has a collegiate background. That's why his character in Saved by the Bell was.
That's why he did. That's why his takedown was so good.
Yeah, he's a legit wrestler.
He does his takedown on Val, he sweeps him from the leg. I was like, oh my god, oh my god.
Dave Meltzer can dedicate 20 minutes to the career of the amateur wrestling background of one Mario Lopez. I bet he could, honestly.
Yeah.
I read his Wikipedia page randomly because that's what happens when you're on Wikipedia. You read the entry of Mario Lopez, and there was a pretty extensive background between that. Yeah.
Nonetheless, Mario Lopez.
I can't believe I confessed
Sunday
that.
Night Heat, Dick Togo, Hiromu Takahashi.
I need to check this out. Mario Lopez doing a double leg takedown on Val Venus. That's great.
It's the first episode. It's after Val Venus tried to he got rapey with a girl, his co-star.
I mean, it was the Attitude Era.
Well, it was Mario Lopez's co-star from Pacific Blue, the hit new show on the USA Network.
Ah, now it all makes sense.
Yeah, Bicycle Police.
Did they ever have an episode dedicated to the La Femme Nikita? Or Highlander. Wait, no, Edge was in Highlander. Yeah, never mind.
Roddy Piper was in Highlander.
Great.
Anyway.
Who else? What other things can we talk about with wrestlers on television shows?
Well, you know what? You just got to wait till this Monday because me and Jose are going to be back doing a top 10 list. Top 10 wrestling cameos in television shows. So.
Corey, if there's this one cameo is not on that list, we're going to have to find another B-show host is all I'm going to say.
Well, let's get out of here then.
Don't feel sorry for him.
Anyways, you don't feel sorry for him, you know. He's a terrible worker.
Quiet.
Anyways, and our final piece of news is something we just got to talk about real quick because
it's resurfaced, but then it's very relevant what's going on in the next segment. Yeah, there's a reason why it resurfaced.
Yeah. This news resurfaced, but I think to a lot of us, I didn't hear about this until this morning. So this morning video resurfaces of Excalibur, the announcer from AEW, former wrestler in the Southern California scene, independent wrestler. He is also part owner of Pro Wrestling Guerrilla in was it Pasadena or
Reseda? It's on the thumbnail.
Well, you know what? I'm not looking directly at it. I'm trying to look somewhere around the camera, but not directly at it. So video resurfaces of him using the N-word multiple times.
Hard R, by the way.
Hard R, yes. One video where he is doing a promo into a video camera saying, "We're coming for you," just like Booker T did in the old WCW promo. And when Booker T says it, it's one of those things. It's just like
it's a really
he let something slip.
Really terrible look. And Kevin Owens is present in that video as well. And
that was the second video that was played where
that's the one I saw.
The one of him in the crowd, he was cutting a promo on some people in the ring
on Human Tornado.
And I've met Human Tornado, nice guy.
Well, he was. So yeah, go ahead.
Anyways, said something about him. Called him the N-word and called the other guy a derogatory term used towards Mexicans. And
yeah, so, it starts with a B.
It's even hard for me to say it.
So again, there's always that justification of he was working as a heel. They were trying to draw heat, the cheapest heat you can possibly imagine. It was 10 years ago.
Sounds like he tried to do it a couple times though.
A couple times? Like what? There's there's more? Well,
there was 2 videos I saw. There was one.
Yeah, that's 2 videos. I thought
that is a couple.
Yeah. So it's terrible, and I've heard secondhand sources that he has apologized to it. Apparently, if you listen to his podcast on Talk is Jericho, he has apologized to it, and Kevin Owens in Lillian Garcia's podcast, he talked about it, and they didn't really go elaborate. I think on one of those podcasts, they said they didn't want to elaborate what they said, but they said terrible shit. And this is apparently what the terrible shit was. Yeah. And I've read comments on saying, Human Tornado really insisted that Excalibur and Kevin Owens say all of this. They haven't.
Then Human Tornado really didn't like Excalibur then. He's like, no, man, go ahead and say it. It's fine. There will be no repercussions.
You're not going to have a job at a major company with a major television network breathing down your neck 24/7, or a website a social media website that can just pretty much let everything out there. Like this promotion is going to go nowhere. And then this
is from years. The video was years ago, right?
Yeah.
Excalibur looks like he's fucking in his early mid-20s,
but this is not to excuse it. This is
absolutely not.
I know. It's just this is a public platform. Someone's recording a camera somewhere. And it's never ever a good thing to say it, even regardless if it's recording. But the fact that they know that this is a wrestling promotion with a bunch of people, I guess it's just a dumb cheap heat. The dumbest of the dumb ways of cheap heat, they wanted it, and it was during a time when a company like PWG was just hungry for any sort of attention, and they thought this was the attention they wanted. Well, this is the attention they got now in July 29th, 2020.
Well, I hope that Excalibur truly looks at the situation and goes, that was wrong of me. I messed up. Or like I made a wrong decision there.
I mean, if what Excalibur probably should have been doing was, like, if he did apologize, well, if he didn't apologize, fucking apologize. But if he did, in fact, apologize, immediately just redirect people to that.
I honestly think he should.
Or just say that he just, like,
I would put it out there, like, straight up. Like, if it were me in that situation, and I know people probably advise against it, but if I made a mistake, I would look at the camera and be like, hey, guys, I'm sorry. I messed up.
There's not much you can. That's all you can do at that point.
And I hope you guys can forgive me. Yeah. Because Excalibur was somebody I enjoyed watching. I enjoy listening to, and I just hope he's not somebody that uses that word constantly. And
or at least you got to operate on good faith that he is a different person now. Than what he was in that video. And that's all you can really do.
People can be rehabilitated. That's for sure.
Dude, we say, like, I've definitely said, well, I haven't said, I mean, I can't definitively say it, like, maybe if there's a video out there or whatever, like, you can never, like, again, a lot of people can say a lot of terrible things that, like, no one's perfect, Yeah. It's really all about what you can do moving forward at this point when in regards to these certain situations. I mean, it's not to say every situation is the same, but that's all you really got to hope for is that Excalibur just moves forward and be better and hope that he was better going, as the years went by after that video.
Yeah. And I mean, that kind of goes into
Dynamite because Excalibur was not there.
It seems like they're going to do the same thing they did with Sammy. They're going to review the situation. He's going to be suspended for a few weeks. And I'm sure his pay is going to go to some sort of charitable organization, and he'll be back. And
I'll say this: I'm just going to be upfront here. Excalibur was desperately needed on this show. He was this
JR, dude. He is just JR is the guy who
he's not the lead. He was never going to be the lead. He was a guy that was supposed to bounce off Excalibur. Excalibur's not there.
When JR
kind of a shit show.
He's like one of those guys that, like, he gets hired at your work, and at first he's really quiet, and you're like, what's
his tenure?
It's weird, man. What
tenure?
No, he's quiet at first, but then all of a sudden you get to know him, and he's all of a sudden just like dick and fart jokes, and you're just like, oh my god, this guy is just all over the place. Because I felt like that was just like JR all night, just like, we're gonna have 30 prizes for you. We're gonna give away Taz's house. Just like, JR, man, like, just simmer down.
Right, have you
ever watched the podcast after the show?
Yeah, he puts over AEW, and he really puts over AEW. He just shits on everything else because, it works for AEW.
It's just like three old guys like trying to do Skype or Zoom, and it's like,
it's like the commentary of today's show.
Is it working? If it's not working, let me go back to drinking then.
And drink he shall.
He's like smoking. I'm like, oh my god. Anyways, AEW Dynamite. Sorry.
Dynamite. Light the fuse. Bring the boom. We are live at Daly's Place as Kip Sabian, like all good millennials, plugs his Twitch channel, just like Miro. Again, as we mentioned earlier, no Excalibur on the call, so boomers on commentary. Crowd is a little bit more boomers. You don't know that term?
No.
Baby boomers.
Oh.
Okay, boomers.
Taz.
No, I get it because you're a boomer yourself.
I'm not a boomer.
Well, you're asking. You were asking what that meant. How do you know?
I was thinking like a boom mic. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, how? Why? Anyway. Inner Circle versus Best Friends in Jurassic Express 5-on-5. Coming into this match, I was never going to completely follow this move by move. I was just dreading it like, oh man, this is going to be kind of a shit show. But it was a shit show in another direction.
Yeah.
Because, yeah. Hager lifts Orange Cassidy around but gets slapped on the chest. Aubrey Edwards is the ref, in which she has all my sympathy. Like, you would hope you were thinking like tag teams or really lots of dudes. Rick Knox is your guy.
And JR is just, or not, is it JR? JR is just bearing her. Like, not.
Oh, she's going to wave her hands around?
What's she doing? She can't control all this. They need more people out here.
I mean, nobody can. I mean, Rick Knox could. I mean, but they can't just say that. Like, oh, she can't do her job. Like, that's just a bad look. Anyway. Jericho accidentally breaks the ring skirt over the top rope. Hurricane Rana from Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and Hager play catch using Marco Stunt as the ball. Orange gets a 4-way hug, and they all beat down Sammy. And then JR laughably says that 38-year-old Jake Hager has not quite reached his potential. And JR, bless your heart, and I feel like we're kind of just bearing you throughout this entire episode. I think Jake Hager has reached his potential. I think.
Oh, I'm not saying anything. I wasn't burying JR at the beginning of the show.
I mean,
I love JR in the show. He makes me laugh. He's great. I want to have a drink with the guy.
Well, yeah, I'm sure I'd have a drink with him, but then I most definitely don't want him on lead commentary on this show. They build heat on Trent, beating him on the corner. Hot tag to Luchasaurus. He kicks everyone. He punches everyone. And then his mask almost falls off. It was a real close call. And Taz and JR says his face almost fell off.
And JR goes, hey, I know that guy. Yeah, it's Luchasaurus.
Yeah. Again, everybody is getting their shit in on everyone. Orange stops Jericho from hitting Luchasaurus with Floyd the Bat. Sammy Guevara sets himself up top, but is tossed by Matt Hardy via musical interference. And Luchasaurus chokeslams Sammy for the pin and win. It wasn't great. I think it's a bit of a stretch to even say it was good. I mean, the only person that kind of got over in this match was Matt Hardy, and he wasn't even involved. I mean, he was only involved in the end. Kind of treated. I mean, Orange Cassidy, he still has his program with Jericho going into the coming weeks, but I just thought this was a little throwaway. I didn't really think this match was that great anyway. Like, it was kind of a mess. I was kind of let down.
Yeah, I've seen people. Did you see the video Matt Hardy posted online about him abandoning all his gimmicks now?
Is he going to be the money guy now? Is that because that's what he's been doing? Okay,
he's been doing that in Dark, but no, he's going to go back. He's going to be Matthew Hardy.
I mean, if he's doing it in Dark, that doesn't mean he threw out all his gimmicks. He's doing a gimmick. That's
what he said in this video on Twitter. He posted. He says, "I've been all these different things." He goes, I want to have a revitalization in my career, unlike what they're doing to my brother and some other companies." But
then isn't that going to become a gimmick?
He said, you've seen a lot of my faces, but you've never seen the face of Matthew Hardy.
That's good. That's literally going to be a gimmick itself. So he's just going against that. Everything's a gimmick, Matt Hardy. You're in the business of pro wrestling.
Everything's a gimmick in wrestling. So, but
yeah, more Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara. What do you? This seems to be our direction going in. I'm not too crazy about it. We saw the match already. It's not as fresh as I think it is right now as of this week. It's a little bit uninspiring, but
I will say this: Sammy Guevara looked really good in the match, and he came in with a lot of energy.
I think Sammy Guevara was just being Sammy Guevara.
I think he had a lot more energy in this match, being like his first major match on Dynamite, being back. So
we come back to JR on commentary. He reminds us all that we're all just hold on, let me see here. We're all just following the rules. We got our masks. We took my blood test on the wrist, so we're following. We made
sure. Has like a shot of whiskey behind the mask.
Yeah. Okay. No, this ain't water. He's pretty much Hangman Page.
Yeah.
John Moxley entered promo. He says he tries to stay out of people's business. Calls Darby Allin his little compadre and hated that Cage and Starks were beating him down. He doesn't start fights, but he always finishes them. We come back to the commentary table, and Taz responds that he's terrified. He should be. And that was our second.
Taz was another one.
Taz was awesome. Okay, I'm going to say that. I'm going to say Taz was awesome this week.
Taz was good, but at the same time, he is also going back and forth between that manager role on commentary table and being an actual like, this match is good. He's hitting this, but that guy, he just sucks. He's not as good as Brian Cage. I'm just like, dude.
The reason why I like Taz is because and I think I said this last week, where he is willing to resign himself to the reality of the situation where it doesn't insult the viewer. Because you see like Corey Graves trying to make up a million fucking reasons why this dumbass thing happened. Like, if a dumbass thing happened for Taz, if Brian Cage and Ricky Starks do something really stupid, like, Taz is willing to admit that was really stupid, or Taz is willing to admit that he had to throw in the towel.
That's cool.
To do this. It's one of those things. It's one of those great debate tactics. You got to resign yourself, give yourself in a little bit, So you can,
But is Corey Graves a manager?
But he's also on but he's on the heel side of commentary. But then Taz is also on the heel side of commentary. But then he's not willing. But he's not willing to like divorce reality. And I think Taz, like, he and Chris Jericho too, where they don't serve as like a distraction. They have their reasons, but they also see what they see. Like I genuinely I thought Taz was great this week. Cody versus Warhorse for the TNT Championship. Justin Roberts, God bless him. He says Warhorse is 4,000 pounds of pure heavy metal, and he is here to rule ass.
Well, that's his thing. Apparently, he rules a lot of ass.
That's his thing.
Is he like a Christian guy?
No, he's a metal dude. He was literally headbanging.
I thought he said Garrison. I thought he said when he was coming to the ring, he looked at the camera, and I thought he said, "The power of Christ plus rock and roll. That's Warhorse, baby." Which I'm just wondering if that's what he said. If I'm wrong, I would like to know.
I think I missed that. I actually didn't hear that. And he just proceeds to says the shit out of both names in Cody and Warhorse. Like Justin Roberts, he Taz just said, Justin's being a little bit extra.
I hope somebody gets a warm tea ready for Justin after the show.
Probably has it at the ready. They trade waist locks, meat and potatoes wrestling to start. JR says to keep track of Cody's facial expressions to see if there's any hint of frustration in it.
That'll show you anything. His mood for the night, it'll show. It's on his face.
Cody gets out of the ring out of frustration as Arn assures him he's got this. Don't let your anger get in the way of your talent. Crisscross Irish whip run into a lariat from Warhorse. I thought that looked cool. It's probably the only cool thing he did. We got a suplex during picture-in-picture. Got to keep us engaged. Single leg Boston Crab from Cody. War reaches the ropes. JR mentions the push-ups during the commercial break, much to the ire of Arn Anderson. You're being too distracted. Warhorse is selling the left leg as he runs to Cody with strikes on the corner. Gets a good amount of offense in at this point. He does an elbow drop, shades of Macho Man, which if you go to Warhorse's IG, he pays homage to Macho Man in that picture where Macho Man has the title belt and he's looking into the sunset. You know that picture, right?
Oh yeah, I saw that picture.
Yeah. Warhorse does one himself with a title that he has. I don't know what it is.
It's the Independent Wrestling Championship. It's from what's that streaming site? Indie Wrestling.
Yeah, it's a title belt. Warhorse is selling the left leg as he runs to Cody with strikes on the corner. I think I said that already. Lots of spin attempts from Warhorse. Cody kicks out of all of them. Warhorse tries to stop the figure four, but taps out.
Yeah. Cody's new finisher.
It's his new finisher. I didn't think this match was all that great.
No.
I thought Warhorse, the character himself, is very cool. It's great for wrestling. I think
very Adult Swimmy.
Yeah, I like Warhorse as a character. I just didn't think he had a great match with Cody.
I like the group he has in like GCW. It's like him, Alley Cat, and Effie.
Yeah,
which is like three like super with the time gimmicks. So
this just didn't play into Warhorse's strengths.
No, all these matches. They're just for Cody to get over.
No. There's Eddie Kingston last week. All right, that I feel like is a template to what Cody can be capable of, because if anything, Cody, it's up to him. Remember, this is as much as I want to rag on Warhorse, this is as much as Cody on Cody in this regard. It's that he wants to prove himself to be a very versatile performer, and he wants to wrestle everybody. Well, you got to wrestle if you want to wrestle everybody, you got to know how to wrestle everybody. And I think Cody was off his game this week in particular against Warhorse, and I don't think they had that much chemistry in the ring.
No.
And
it's gonna happen. Cody. Let's just face it. Cody's like not Okada or Kenny Omega. Just say it like that, okay?
You don't have to force me to say it. Like, you're the one who made him wrestler of the year.
Michael, calm down, okay? He's not. Don't yell at me. So what I'm saying,
guy with the Cody, you're the one with the Cody Rhodes avatar in the Slack.
I did. You're right. I have 2 Cody Rhodes shirts. One. I don't remember. Anyways, so what I'm saying is, like, there is times where it's like he's not going to put on 6-star, 5-star matches with everybody. Like they're
But it's great to have 4-star matches, and I'm going to say this is a 3 at best.
For him, it's good to have that experience, though. It's good for him to get in the ring with every different type of wrestler and try to own your craft as much as you can. So that's awesome, and he's trying to do that, and he's trying to make himself better by doing that. That's fucking good.
But yeah,
but you're gonna have matches that are bad sometimes.
Yeah, you can't win them all. Well, Cody's going to win them all. Post-match, Warhorse tries to stop John Silver and Alex Reynolds from attacking Cody for some reason, but is beat down himself. They then beat on Cody, only to be rescued by one Matt Cardona, formerly known as Zack Woo Ryder. They kind of pimp as soon as he went on screen. His Pro Wrestling Tees AEW shirt was just at the ready on the Twitter account. It says strong. It's actually not a bad shirt. It just says Strong Island. And that's the gimmick that they're going with. And his name is Matt Cardona. And he rescues Cody. And he's a friend of Cody.
He rescues Cody.
No, his gimmick is he's Cody's friend. And as said in another interview in the past, Cody did not want All Elite Wrestling to be friend where he just wants to sign a bunch of friends. Well, you got Matt Cardona.
Now I don't know. It just seems to me like I'm just worried that this is gonna be just another Sean Spears situation.
It's exactly what I was thinking. Honestly, that was the comparison that I just.
He's gonna turn on Cody. He's gonna challenge him for the title, and he might beat him for the title. And then all of a sudden, he's like, "Why'd you screw me out of the title? Oh, you were part of the Nightmare family."
I'm going to give Zack Ryder credit. I'm just going to call him Zack Ryder right now. I'm going to give him a lot of credit. Like,
look at
when you think about it, like Zack Ryder is like a pioneer in a lot of ways. He was the first. He was the first WWE signed wrestler to have his own YouTube channel and to just completely be self-made. Like you might argue, like he was the prototype for something like a Being the Elite, or an Up Up Down Down, or the myriad of like every single WWE wrestler. Like fucking Ruby Riott has her own YouTube channel. The Bella Twins. Like Zack Ryder did that first.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to give him credit in that regard. And I hope they kind of lean on that. Like, listen, I was the first one to do all of this stuff. And yeah, I was made an example out of everybody, and it demoralized a lot of people everywhere, but that didn't stop everybody here. Like I want him, if they can really kind of hammer in that, I think that could bring a lot of goodwill to the audience, towards him. Whatever helps, dude. Yeah. Instead of just being Matt Cardona, Cody's friend.
He was very, very tan. I will say that.
He looked jacked. Like, what is up with dudes leaving WWE and then getting jacked? It's not like, besides the obvious. But yeah, they got Zack Ryder. He's he might as well be All Elite. He's signed. Excuse me. Tony Schiavone is on the ramp announcing the next pay-per-view, which is All Out, which is at September 5th. I don't think he said it, but I'm saying it right here, September 5th, All Out. So
wow, breaking news, September 5th. You heard it here first on City Wrestling Radio.
That's not that far away, dude. Like, it's the 29th right now.
It's like a week away. It's like a few days away. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Shivers. But then Jericho, he just straight up interrupts Tony Schiavone, because it's not a Tony Schiavone segment if he doesn't get interrupted. Sammy calls, Jericho shuts the music and everyone up. Sammy calls Matt Hardy a son of a bitch, in which Jericho asks, "Hey, Sammy, what does son of a bitch mean in Spanish?" And he says, "Son of el bitch." Yep. Right. Welcome back, Sammy. I loved it. Jericho says in 2 weeks he faces Orange Cassidy, but next week he challenges Orange to a debate. Jericho asks Santana if his jacket still smells like orange juice. Santana says it smells like cat pee. Jericho screams in frustration, just like last week, as Ortiz stares at Tony and yells, "Like cat pee, Tony!" Can't yell that much. It's getting pretty late, so.
Yeah. Here's the thing you forgot to point out with the debate next week. There's a special guest
moderator. Who do you think is going to be?
I don't know.
Great Muta.
Is it a wrestler?
It can't be Great Muta. He's in Japan.
Is it like a politician? Somebody on the news? Some random like Rachel Maddow?
It's going to be Mike Tyson.
Oh, hey, yeah, sounds good. I like it a lot. I like what
he's fighting this. He's fighting in September. Did you hear about that?
Oh, the exhibition match. Yeah, he's doing that. It's all good.
8-ounce gloves against Roy Jones Jr., who's who's known for being a really speedy fighter, but at 54,
whatever.
I don't know. I don't know. I talked to my dad about that. He's willing to pay like $50 for that fight because, of course, he is. A debate between Orange Cassidy and Jericho. I think you can kind of predict where this is going. I hope that Orange Cassidy doesn't just like surprise everybody. He just cuts this monster promo or whatever. I think, or he'll probably just say whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Orange Cassidy, what's your stance? Whatever.
And everyone's going to cheer for him and boo Jericho. And they're going to be like, you're the winner, Orange Cassidy.
Hey, it'll probably be an amazing segment, you know. Tony and Mega Parek, who is paralegal for the Jacksonville Jaguars. She was in a couple of those Road 2 videos, and I thought she was really like the first I'm sorry?
I'm disagreeing with you. I remember her now.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, she did. She's the person in all the contract signings. She's just like, hey, guys, here you go. She hands FTR an AEW contract. And then, like, Arn Anderson comes in to go over the contract, like he's Tully Blanchard or something. And Cash Wheeler announces, well, he makes sure that one of the terms in this contract is that August 12th, Tag Team Appreciation Night, hosted by FTRs. They agree. Tony Khan, like he's off screen, but they come to terms with that. And then Hangman Adam Page barges in and just pours out whiskey shots to celebrate. FTR gets shots. Hangman gets the entire glass. They drink. They celebrate. FTR is officially signed by AEW. Not much to say. They got Tag Team Appreciation Night on August 12th. What do you think? Is every match just going to be – I mean, I'm assuming every match is going to be tag teams.
Every match tag team, and I think –
Midnight Express or Rock and Roll Express is going to be – I think they're going to be in the crowd.
I mean, can they leave their houses? Can they?
Man, if Jake the Snake Roberts can be over there, if Jim Ross can be there,
he chooses to be out. Will the Rock and Roll Express choose to be out?
Whatever.
Meeting them, I would say yes, they would choose to be out.
Of course.
And I think new tag champions that night.
Could be. I would personally say that for All Out, but you don't. Who am I to really say what's best? That leads us to our next match. Yeah. Okay. Stu Grayson and Evil Uno versus Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega for the AEW Tag Team Championships. Brody Lee and Colt Cabana join the commentary booth. Tony asks if Anna Jay's in the Dark Order as we awkwardly throw to commercial break, which I like that. See that throw. Like they were just they were paused and they were just like they didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
They're just like all of a sudden like, what the fuck is Anna Jay doing here?
That was later. That was later in the show. Yeah, they're like I think JR just jumped the gun in that regard, and I just thought like, man, like again, do better, Excalibur, because AEW figures are coming to Walmart this Monday. What do you say, Corey? Let's give.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that figures were coming to fucking toy stores on Monday with the 12 times they showed this commercial.
I was gonna ask Corey, you want to drive over to San Leandro? I'll vendor you.
No, I don't.
Why? It's not that far. You just gotta cross the Bay Bridge.
Oh no, is it still there? I think it's shut down. Actually,
it's still there. It's still the San Leandro one's open. The one wasn't there one in Roanoke Park?
I think the San Leandro one closed.
I don't know. I don't keep track of Walmart's.
Walmart's not allowed in the Bay Area.
Yeah,
we're too liberal for that.
Yeah, we're not liberal enough for Target.
Target, anyways,
that's what I'm saying. Hangman's Chiron announces that he did in fact not like the white wrist tape last week, which is a damn shame. But whatever makes you comfortable. As Kenny is entering through the entrance ramp, his pyro goes off, but Paige is already brawling, leading to Kenny just having to he can't do his entrance anymore. He has to run to the ring to protect Paige. In this match, Evil Uno, like the more I see him, the more slimmer he's been getting, and he's looking fantastic. He might end up being more slimmer than Grayson at this rate.
This match was really good. I really enjoyed this match, and I think this is the best match I've ever seen the Dark Order in. Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. Uno and Grayson.
I'm sure there's no. That's what I'm saying. I'm sure there's like one that was actually like way better because they're mad underrated.
I mean, I'm sure there is.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, because I wouldn't go as far. I can't say that. I can't definitively say this is their best match they've ever done.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying this is the best match I've ever seen.
Ever seen? Better than Omega versus Okada?
By them.
Where am I on these notes? Okay, Tilt-A-Whirl backbreaker. I don't know how they do it. From Kenny to Grayson, JR asks Colt if he's officially a Dark Order member. Colt just says, he's just hanging out right now, guys. They're just being good to me and all this stuff.
Yeah, I'm Colt.
Just guys being dudes. Bucks are just watching from the sideline. Omega and Page just chop Uno. They just double team the shit out of him. And then we get a shot in the commentary. We get a commentary wide shot, and you see Anna Jay just standing like she's on this. She just came back from the set of Eyes Wide Shut. And she has
I thought she was borrowing the outfit from Allie, from the bunny.
Bunny. That's where that came from. Like, I guess she just found it. Like Bunny just can't find her and can't find her shit. And apparently,
Anna Jay just took that heel turn. She took my fucking heel outfit.
They're giving Anna Jay the reverse Andrade treatment because somebody like Anna Jay, you don't put a mask on her like that.
Oh, well, yeah, whatever. Yeah. I say, fuck it, just put a full mask on her.
Sin Cara, just give her the Sin Cara mask.
Yeah, give her a Sin Cara.
Don't do that. Don't do that to Anna Jay. Yeah, Colt says he's never paid for a meal once. Hanging out with Brody Lee, Cole is just putting Brody over like senselessly, saying he's rejuvenated being back with him. They build heat on Page. Omega stops the count from a kick to the back and suplex. Omega tosses Stu to the corner and just leaps over the rope to nothing as Kenny looks in confusion. It got caught into the camera of the turnbuckle camera. You just see Kenny's face like, I didn't expect that to happen. Uno capitalizes with a really nice looking swanton bomb. They try to pin Kenny and Page stops the count. Cannonball 450 combo from Dark Order for a 2 count on Kenny. Brody Lee is just about to blow a gasket every time there's these near falls. Snapdragon to Uno, but Grayson gets a foot stomp to Kenny. B trigger to Uno from Kenny for a 2 count, but then we get a buckshot B trigger on Uno. Pin, win, titles, tag team titles, retain.
Was that supposed to be the finish?
Yeah, I think so. Buckshot V trigger is very protected.
No, I mean, because Stu Grayson was very, very close, but he looked like he slipped trying to break up the ref. Like, he looked like he should have hit the ref to break it up.
You
and
know,
the ref was kind of like 3. Okay, ring the bell.
Yeah, I could see that being pretty awkward. But hey, I mean, what were they supposed to win, Corey?
No. But I wonder if it was supposed to go any longer.
I feel like this is maybe it's an educational process of like, hey, listen, it's, he had a plan, he didn't execute on that plan, which is to stop that count.
No, Dark Order has too many hands in the fire right now.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, post match, Lee tells Colt to leave. He doesn't want him to see any of what he's about to do. And then you see
your root, son.
You don't want to see what I'm about to do. And boy, what Lee does, he whips out the papers. And then he just wallops Evil Uno with his head with those papers. And for those people watching Being the Elite, it's a recurring bit. It's a homage to that bit where, again, Brody Lee whips out papers and he just whips it on throws it on everybody's head. And fun time is had by all. But yeah, hard hats were put on because these men were fucking working.
But the whole thing with the Dark Order surrounding the ring and...
yeah, I haven't gotten there yet. I'm just talking about the match.
Good match. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was fucking great. Dark Order looked really, really good.
Yeah. Like you mentioned earlier, Lee summons Dark Order goons. Bucks show up to be backup for Hangman and Omega, and then you see FTR. They break out the cooler. They even out the numbers. They stare down. Lee laughs, and that was our segment. What do you think of that?
I don't know.
It was not much of an advancement of that storyline. Like, it was just, I think it's, if anything, what I came away with it was the Dark Order is involved with this tag team title picture now. And I think their purpose is to be fodder for this true rivalry, which is FTR and Hangman.
Well, yeah, no,
Omega.
What do you call it? I think you forgot to mention Brody Lee pointing out Hangman Page.
Oh, saying that
like
I think I did.
I'm really pissed at you laughing at us and
yeah, he stirs the pot. Pretty much.
So I don't know. To me, it seems like first off, you have the Dark Order going and attacking Cody earlier in the night. Now they're after this match, they're surrounding the ring for the Elite. So I'm just like, wait, okay, which one are y'all doing?
I mean, maybe Brody Lee is just salty that his Dark Order guys have lost, and it's like, okay, you know what? I mean, it's obvious as hell that Paige and Omega are just kind of bickering fools with each other, or they have conflict, and so Lee's just out of frustration just capitalizes on that because his guys didn't win. So I'm here. I am just gonna. How there's an argument, like how you're ever in an argument with somebody and then the person's last resort is for personal attacks. Like, this is Lee. This is what Brody Lee's doing.
Thanks for showing up, Kenny. Really, thank you.
Hangman appreciates it. Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Britt Baker gets the microphone. She mentions the women's tag team tournament. She talks about Big Swole, and she'll only get to her that the only way that Big Swole will get to Britt Baker is if she beats somebody of Britt Baker's choice. And yeah, that was Britt Baker on the show.
I wonder what's going to keep Big Swole from beating up Britt Baker. Maybe if they have to coexist some ways together.
I mean, she's not. Britt Baker isn't cleared until All Out, and they're starting this tournament. They're starting to air this tournament on Monday. Like, they're probably filming the majority of this tournament.
They're airing it on Monday.
This Monday.
Why is it on Monday? What?
Because it's on YouTube.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
it's not dark and it's not on Dynamite, but it's
its own thing. It's starting its own thing. Maybe because they either think it's going to get killed in the ratings, or that they don't have enough faith in it, or they just don't have the performers to really carry on that segment.
Extra content. I love it.
And given who was announced this week for who's in it, I don't blame them. I could just go over the Deadly Draw rules here. I wasn't willing to take notes, but I did take a picture of what on my screen. The Deadly Draw rules. The tournament is a random draw. All competitors must draw a color. Matching colors will become a team. Selections are final and cannot be appealed. And we'll find out.
They traded. Can they be traded? Doesn't say anything about being traded.
Doesn't. Good. Who knows? Not much is known. We'll see Monday. I'm not going to take notes on it, but I'm sure it'll be great.
Trade. That's the smart way to do it.
Yeah. It'd be like the Eddie Guerrero, Ric Flair thing where Eddie Guerrero secretly steals Ric Flair's number, Royal Rumble number.
Yeah.
Not enough between those two. Anyway, I digress. Diamante versus Sakaroshida. Insert vignette for Diamante saying she's not signed and has nothing to lose and everything to prove, and says in Spanish, pressure makes diamonds. Hey, it's something. It's something for me to care about in Diamante, and I thought she looked great in this match.
Look good, yeah.
Shida extends her hand. Diamante pushes her face in. Shida knees Diamante in the face as she's draped in the barricade. They exchange rights as they hold on to each other's wrists. Flair chops to the chest of Shida suddenly turns to Kobashi chops with a It's not much I can describe it. Cutter or some stunner of some sorts, according to JR from Diamante. Diamante blows a spot in trying a destroyer, but tries to salvage it into a pin, but Shida lands on the ropes as Diamante continues to try and pin, but ref forces her to stop. I thought this was a really awkward spot and a very awkward sentence that I just read. Did you see this?
No.
Yeah,
I was watching in the background, but...
Oh, way to show your cards, Corey.
Hey, you know what? I'm truthful.
Transparent. Suplex from Shida, running knee, pin, and win. I see something in Diamante, like a sloppy finish aside. I hope
she used to be part of LAX, right?
Yeah. They might as well just sign all of LAX at this point.
Yeah, where's Conan?
Yeah, or LA. Boom, and all that shit. They're in a relationship with AAA. Like, they could do something.
Mm-hmm.
This brings Shida's overall record to 18-7 and can be the first woman in AEW to reach 20 wins. I'm willing to bet that she will reach 20 wins. She just doesn't win anything for the next month. She can't reach the 20 mark.
Damn it.
Yep. Vicky Guerrero and Nyla Rose. Nyla Rose. She announces her color, and it's purple. It's purple, and what?
Purple's a good color.
Yeah, purple's a great color. look at my background.
Hey.
And then it's announced that Nyla Rose's partner is fucking Cameron. From the Funkadactyls, and
is on a round.
I just let out a big sigh. Like, it's you're God bless her. Ariane from Total Divas, the not Naomi, the one who tried to pin a wrestler who but who tried to pin Cameron, also known as the woman who said that Melina and Alicia Fox was the greatest wrestling match of all time, leading Stone Cold Steve Austin to just cut a promo on her. That one. Cameron, the one who tried to pin another performer who was laying on her front and tried to pin her and told the referee to count that pin. Who
was that on TV? That was on TV.
That was legitimately on TV, and everybody just did not.
That was.
I'll say this: only if she brings Vinny, her boyfriend from Total Divas. If I don't know whether or not they're still together. Not much is known besides the fact that she's on AEW now. I like Vinny. If he can come in and be a manager, because good Lord, we need enough. We don't have enough managers.
They got Vicky Guerrero. Okay.
Oh, that's right. Also, you got Vicky Guerrero on that team. You got yourselves a heel unit, but yeah, Cameron appearing in AEW, Matt Cardona, Zack Ryder being on this show, I just let out, like, is it 2013? Like, you can't get CM Punk, but we might as well get everybody in the roster when he was there on this thing. And I just felt like a real irrationally, like, negative feeling upon this. And who knows, like, she's probably not signed. Like, she's probably just going to be fodder for Nyla Rose. She's going to eat the pins in the matches that Nyla Rose has to lose in, I guess.
Well, it's a tournament.
It's a tournament, so
she
would have to win, I guess. I don't know.
They'll lose in the opening round, and Nyla Rose will beat her up.
I guess.
Sounds about right to me, actually.
Anyway, next segment. MJF is out with a podium to address the state of the industry. Says he's going to force feed knowledge to this audience like a 5-year-old is fed mac and cheese. Tells people to use the hashtag MJF2020 and not my champion. He calls the audience bench warmers as Griff Garrison just shakes his head in disapproval.
So what's funny is that I didn't fully realize it, but I was watching the non-picture-in-picture version. So I actually got to
You didn't see the podium get set up?
No, I did see the podium get set up. But there was just like this long time where he's just like walking around the ring. I'm like, why is he just walking around the ring all slowly? Like,
because we're on commercial break, Corey.
Random guys.
Are you on the fight feed?
I pick you. Yeah, I think it was.
You were on the fight feed. You paid AEW Plus month, $5 a month for a fight feed on your VPN. In a perfectly legal situation.
All VPNs, I don't think are extremely legal, right?
No, they're super legal. You just pay $10 a month, and you get internet from Vietnam and pay $20 for AEW pay-per-views.
Anyways,
he says the reason why he's not being used is because they're afraid he's going to upstage certain people. He talks about change and mentions the word paradigm shift. He says it went from a revolution to a dictatorship, and that Jon Moxley is not my champion. And then he goes on to complain about flips and spots and that fans are brainwashed to like all of it, pretty much unleashing his inner Jim Cornette in the body of a 24-year-old. He says a world champion leads by example and not play wrestle. Says wrestlers don't go around cosplaying as other wrestlers, and that's a stone cold fact, which is a knock on Jon Moxley being.
He also said he was like, when you came from the land of Titans, and that's like he said, and that's where everyone like does it old school, and that's a fact, brother.
Yeah, he's just going there. He talks about ratings and John's name value, and that MJF draws more than him, and then MJF really hammers the nickname Dictator John, which I'm apparently I wasn't the only one, but he's really kind of channeling the commander-in-chief here in Donald Trump, where
I got that the second he walked out in that fucking blue suit with the red fucking tie, I was like, oh, he's Trump. He's coming out of Trump.
This is definitely
short of let's build a wall. He's just going for,
and he's apparently going to do another speech next week. And this
rich white guy who.
I don't know, man. I don't know. There's enough. Okay, let me finish the segment. He says he blames all the problems society on John, and that his talent and that MJ MJF says his talent outweighs John's tenure, and he's the guy that's going to lead the company for the next 25 years. So when he's 49 years old, he'll still be champion.
Oh.
At this point, shit gets real. Like with this guy, like the boos just keep getting louder and louder, and then as his music plays, he challenges Moxley for the title at All Out. You know, like once you put that aside, like the whole Trump, like the fact that he is actually trying to go for Trump, I thought this was an incredible promo.
It was good. It was good.
To me, like this super like I came off of this like way more interested for what Jon Moxley is doing in this matchup more than the main event and what's going to happen next week. I thought MJF, to me, he's the MVP of the night.
Well, I mean, he didn't channel Trump in a way that, like,
they're really treading a line here,
in a horrible way. Like, but in the sense where I got it, and I'm like, I don't like Trump, and
I don't want to be reminded of Trump.
But it's also he's channeling just enough.
But he's
to make it believable and make it be like, you fucking asshole. I can't wait to see someone give you a paradigm shift.
He's not trying too hard. He's not going full
he was getting very into that speech.
Well, yeah, it's just more or less just it really was the fact that he just kept on saying Dictator John, just the whole nickname, like, which is a really, really big like Trump tactic. Like that's what he does. He gives people nicknames, and like MJF gave Moxley Dictator, and it's a really thin line that they got to tread on this one. If this is what they're going for, like it's up to AEW to really show how much of a sophisticated company they truly are. And honestly, like we'll see, man.
Well, you know, and this is why I think there's a fine line. I think there's, and I need to reinstate this. I hate Trump.
You know,
I don't like the guy.
Yeah,
no, I do.
It's terrible.
But this is why I'm defending this promo that MJF did by taking just enough of the Trumpness to the heel factor of him, because there's not Nick Aldis, but Sam Adonis.
Now that's what I was thinking of when people are just trying too hard, because he directly references Trump.
That's what I'm saying. You have people like that who are just like, build the wall.
I mean, you got Brian Cage like going in Mexico wearing a shirt saying build the wall, you know, for heat.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. Remember that? Wrestling is a microcosm of society, Corey. It's just whether you like it or not.
Next segment.
I mean, we go through next week, 12-man matchup, because that's what this show needs more. Just, I mean, with these guys,
Aubrey will have more than one ref with her, right?
Elite. Okay, so it's the Elites, which is Kenny Omega and the Bucks, Paige and FTR versus apparently all of the Dark Order. Which, you know, I have a lot more faith in this match being a lot better than the 10-man this week, considering the workers and all of this. So we'll see how that goes. And Chris Jericho versus Orange Cassidy in debate with a special guest moderator. And I'm just gonna pull this up right now.
What if it's Gooch?
Next week's?
It could be Gooch.
Of the moderators?
Yeah, I think the moderator's Gooch.
Just before I forget, because on the Twitter account they said more. I'm just going to go Meltzer on you and just say, and right here.
And anyway, so AEW Dynamite.
Okay, so next week, John Silver and Alex Reynolds versus TNT champion Cody and Matt Cardona. So
he's not defending the title, right? Next week.
No, it's a tag team match. Cody and Matt versus John Silver and Alex Reynolds. So
Cody doesn't defend the title every week.
That's weird. I thought he said he was going to do that every week, but I guess not. I guess they just, you know. And MJF does an update next week on the state of things, the debate, and I think that's it as far as announcements go. We'll find out more as the week goes by. Main event, no DQ, Tornado tag team match. Jon Moxley versus Darby Allin Jon Moxley and Darby Allin versus Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. Excuse me. Darby Allin's music plays, but no Darby. Moxley's music plays. We have Moxley. Taz pimps out Brian and his biceps as Starks gets on the mics. Starks says he is young, handsome, and successful, and has to, like, he says this promo about how awesome he is, but then
He looked like a dork.
Well, I think that's. I mean, he's again like that's. He was kind of laying it on thick there. But then when he says this promo and he runs down Moxley, and it's just this is followed by that MJF promo, and I just thought like I don't know, man. Like first of all, you have two consecutive segments that just straight up just verbally abuse Moxley to a point like, you know, it's kind of weird. But then it's a different style. It just reminded me too much of MJF and how Ricky Starks isn't as good on the mic as MJF, which is kind of a hot take because Ricky Starks is actually pretty good on the mic, but he's no MJF.
Yeah, it's MJF.
Starks says Mox wrestles like Pigpen and bumps like a crash test dummy. Well, okay, well, I'll give him credit for that. That's a pretty good line. Moxley's just, yeah. They both enter. Starks and Brian Cage enter, and then as soon as they enter through the ramp, a coffin drop out of nowhere from the smoke to Starks and Cage. They brawl outside. Cage catches Allen midair, but Moxley does a tope suicida. Just walk and brawls on the outside. Just you know, it's a tornado tag. What do you expect? We get a picture-in-picture as Moxley sets up a powerbomb to a trash can. It doesn't happen. Mox gets double-teamed. During the break, Cage does a slam on Moxley as Darby is on his head and slams both of them. JR had a pretty good line, says Darby Allin is a slinky with a heart, which I don't know.
The slinky.
Oh, yeah. Everyone gets their shit in. Cutter to Starks from Moxley. Lariat from Cage to Moxley. JR calls a German suplex a belly to back, which, hey, man, I get moves wrong, too. I ain't any better, but this was a German suplex, JR. Come on. Maybe if I watch it again, maybe you're right, but whatever. Stereo Alabama slam to Moxley onto a trash bin, but Darby stops the count. Moxley saves Darby from a buckle bomb. Mox positions Cage for the coffin drop. Trash can to the bicep from Allen. Things get worse for Darby. Wait, hold on. This note's got weird. Okay. Darby Allin, he whips out the tack-filled skateboard from a previous spot that he did to Joey Janela in a previous pay-per-view that I forget the name of.
Just still under the ring, you know.
Yeah, no, it's very convenient. And
everyone's like, whose board is this? Just leave it down there. Somebody will get it. All right.
And then he drives it to Ricky Starks' back, and it's there really deep. Like, I remember last week when Ricky Starks when he attacked Darby from behind and Darby got Enzo Amore into the ropes and that legitimately gave him a concussion. Like some part of me believes that this was Darby Allin giving Ricky Starks a receipt on this end because he really laid it on there.
Could be. Funniest part too about this, real quick.
Oh, hold on, let me finish this match because it was the last spot. He drives the tack-filled skateboard to Ricky Starks' back as Moxley puts Cage into an armbar as Allen pins Starks as we end that match. Go on.
I thought it was really funny before they come out. They cut that promo, and Starks just keeps talking and talking and talking.
He missed his cue on the entrance. Like he just stares.
We're just like, fuck it. Put that music up. Yeah. It's like, yeah, me and Brian Cage do this, and then, we got to go. Bye.
That might be just live television and experience on his end.
Yeah. I think that there was a certain point where.
He just didn't know how to time it right.
I think he just kept repeating himself. You know what I mean? I was like, just go.
You know, again, inexperience.
Anyways.
Yeah. I'll get better. And I really do. Because I thought, like, this match as, I don't want, like, on paper, I thought this was going to be an incredible match. I didn't think it reached a certain level of expectations that, you know, that I had.
Yeah.
But it was okay. I don't know. It was a match. Post-match, Allen points to the title as his music's played, and then Tony Schiavone announced that Mox is defending the title against Allen next week, on which Taz just responds like, what? And, that's that. For all intents and purposes, this might be just the blow-off between Mox and Brian Cage and everybody, unless they interfere into this title match next week, which I'm not opposed because I don't think, like, what is Darby Allin going to lose again next week? I don't know. I think this is just a match that they just wanted to get out there for people to be intrigued about, and I'm not really buying it.
Break up the match, or someone's going to interfere.
And that's the thing. Like AEW does, like they don't do that so far.
Yeah, so far.
So
it's not that
I don't want them to beat Darby Allin, but then I don't want them to beat Moxley. And I'm like, if only there was a way to avoid this sort of booking.
Listen, baby, I got something for you that I invented. It's called the Dusty Finish. You send someone down there and you beat them both up. It's all good because I created it just for you, baby. You're my son. Take it. Okay.
All right. And yeah, that was Dynamite. I was pretty let down by the show. I thought the Hangman the Hangman Omega Dark Order match was above average. You know, like they worked real hard. The 10-man tag, like it was a clusterfuck in the worst way instead of the clusterfuck in a great way.
Yeah.
The Warhorse and Cody, I was personally a little bit let down by. It just seemed kind of like an off night. I didn't really love this episode of Dynamite in general. I thought MJF was the best segment, but that's all I can really say. I wasn't like Diamante. I can get behind. Like Shida continues to be pretty good at what she does. Not great, but good. But yeah, I was just not really feeling it like I usually do after these Dynamites.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say it was the worst episode, but it
definitely wasn't.
I don't know.
Let's move on. Let's move on to the NXT. This show's getting really long today.
How long is it? Like, what's the counter?
99 minutes right now.
Oh. It's par for the course. Like NXT. No, this is someone who edits these shows. Like, this is kind of the usual pace. Like NXT, the review last time. Yeah, go ahead.
And NXT. Anyways, AEW was a good show. It was a good show. Underwhelming though.
You liked it? Oh, you thought it was underwhelming.
Yeah, underwhelming, but it was okay. NXT kicked off from the Performance Center, a video package of Dijak's Destruction last week, themed to Armageddon 1999's theme song.
They're still playing that.
The end is near.
It's a great song.
It is a good song. And I always can get confused. I always think it is The Doors, but it's not.
That's exactly what they were going for. That's what Jim Johnson was going for.
You know. First match of the night, Io Shirai and Tegan Nox versus Dakota Kai and her tag team partner, Candice LeRae. Raquel Gonzalez still not back for some reason. I don't know why. I think that's actually gone, and we'll get Kai attacks Io as Io is making her entrance, and eventually all four women just kind of make their way into the ring by brawling. Nox and LeRae start the match officially. A lot of tagging in and out. No one person gaining any momentum. Io does a long kind of butterfly leg hold on Dakota Kai, which I thought was really cool. A lot of back and forth between Io and Dakota Kai. Tree of Woe double stomp to Kai by Io. Io takes down both women, followed by a dropkick cannonball to Candice. Tope to Dakota Kai. While Kai is receiving a tope on the outside, Nox gives Candice LeRae the shiniest wizard. Moonsault to Candice LeRae. Io gets the
Asahi moonsault. Come on, man.
I said moonsault.
Asahi.
Okay.
It's a place in Japan.
Asahi moonsault. It's also a antioxidant.
If that's probably it. This looked great. Well, the moonsault, like Shirai, like her Shirai's knees just went straight directly to Candice LeRae's face. Like it was Billy Kidman. It was Billy Kidman to I think it was Chavo Guerrero. I think that was he. Yeah. So.
This match was a 5 out of 10. This match is a 5 out of 10 in my opinion, and it was probably a nothing match. And
I thought Shirai looked a cut above everybody else in this match. I thought she looked great, but it was only her that looked great. Yo.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just heard some weird scream from outside.
That's Io Shirai being pissed off that you gave this match a 5 out of 10.
It could be. I'm sorry, Io. So yeah, no, like I said, it was, I felt like it was a nothing match for me, and it never felt like it actually got started, and then it just kind of ended. So
I thought Io Shirai looked great.
Next up, we have Adam Cole and Pat McAfee. This is a
clip of the Pat McAfee show with Adam Cole.
Now, Adam Cole got mad because someone called him small, and
we mentioned this last week on the show where I found it out via Twitter.
And so Triple H is, hey, it's a misunderstanding, you know.
Yeah, conveniently, how convenient for Triple H to be on that show 2 days after that. Wow, like they had to get him out there.
Well, it could have been an emergency, like, hey, Adam Cole.
You got to make things right. Adam Cole is a tough star.
I gotta go on.
And then they showed this graphic of Adam Cole's Twitter apology, and it just looked like the biggest fucking wall of text, and they only show it for like half a second, and I'm like, dude, this is obviously a notes app, copy and paste. Like, tweets are never that long.
Yeah.
And it just looks so bad.
So, I mean, this has got to be setting up to something. So,
they were in a Undisputed Era is just pissed throughout this entire show because of it. Like, they are.
Then we have Gargano and Roderick Strong. Apparently, they got into a Twitter spat last week, and just like you,
Twitter troglodytes to each other.
Really
Mara would
quickly,
say.
really quick shots of the Twitter exchange. Could barely see him as well. Johnny Gargano.
Got a show to go through.
Johnny Gargano versus Roderick Strong. So when I first heard about this match, I was really excited. I was really, really excited.
But
I watched this match, and I wasn't excited anymore. I was actually kind of bummed out for the first part of this match.
Okay.
But it did pick up a little bit because the first part of this match was just a lot of chain wrestling. Maybe too much chain wrestling.
Oh God, was that your main complaint? Because I thought that was pretty good.
And even to the point where Morrow says, "This is NXT. This is wrestling."
I mean, it is. You can't argue against that.
I know. It was just
wrestling can be many things, Corey.
Eventually, we come back from break. Strong catches Gargano, and when he went for a final beat DDT into a pendulum backbreaker, twisting flatliner to Strong. This is when the match really picks up and completely negates everything I said about the match at the beginning.
So 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 flare chops for me.
No,
this match is really good.
Gargano misses a baseball slide. Strong hits a hurricane run on the outside into the barricade. Final beat DDT to Strong. Gargano gets the pin and win. I actually give this match a 7 out of 10. It's a pretty damn good match with the second half. The first half was
That's
really
a good score.
And it was just I just don't see how they're booking Strong so weak.
I came off of it thinking that they gave a lot to Gargano. I think it didn't make the Strong looks weak. It did not make Strong look strong. It made Gargano look strong. But yeah, no, I totally agree with you in thinking that these two can totally have a better match with each other.
Oh yeah. They said they only had one match together.
Yeah, and I think this is, if anything, I hope this isn't the final match against each other, because I know they are capable of a lot more. But what I got was still pretty decent. Now, like, again, when they announced this match, like Friday or whatever, like way after the fact, or too soon after. I think they announced this match like this week, and Brian Alvarez just got into it like, why are they?
I want to know.
So like, they could have had a better match, but what I got was pretty good.
They could have had a way better match, but it's like with no build and you basically two heels going at it. So
that's true. That was kind of, and you think it's just a testament of they just don't have enough people.
Yeah, I mean they had to do something. So
yeah, and it's like, shit, Gargano, Strong, the two thoroughbreds, just have at it.
Next up, we have Dakota Kai backstage with Mackenzie. Kai says she's somebody who does things alone now. She's tired of having people by her side. So, like I said, I think the whole her and Raquel Gonzalez thing is donezo. In walks a very newly bleached blonde, Slim Shady.
She looked like she fell asleep in a tub of peroxide for like 3 days straight. Like, what was this?
Rhea Ripley.
She looks like Dexter Loomis's sister.
You know what? Maybe they're going for that. Maybe she's the one that tortures the artist, or the whatever they're calling him. I can't fucking remember.
The tortured artist.
Yeah. Rhea Ripley says she has
bodacious barefoot. Yeah, whatever.
Rhea Ripley has issue with Dakota Kai declaring herself the number one contender, and she challenges to a match. And I love when Dakota Kai walks away. She goes, "Well, we'll see what Regal has to say about that." And it just walks away. Rhea Ripley is just like, yeah, we'll see. Timothy Thatcher is in with Mackenzie backstage. Thatcher addresses both his opponents tonight, Finn Balor and Dexter Lumis. He says, first off, Thatcher is kind of like that. Like sometimes when he does a promo, I feel like he's like that guy in theater class where he's like, "Oh, yeah, well, he mentioned a push last week, and the only push I'm going to give him is when I push my shoulder into his knee, bending it backwards."
It's like he was prepared for this statement for about a good 6 months and finally gets to say it. And when he says it, then
And Dexter Lumis, the man, he says, the man with 1,000-mile stare. He thinks he's a tortured artist. Look into my eyes, Mackenzie. He says, he doesn't have what I have in the ring. Like, okay. Thank you, sir.
What, teeth?
Yeah. Well, lack thereof teeth. So, I mean, this whole night they're building to this match literally the entire night.
It's the main event. You got to build to the main event. It's not like
contrast of styles, they keep saying. I'm just like, yes, we fucking get it. Like, that's what we've been talking about for a fucking week.
I don't know, man.
Everyone was complaining about how this match was going to suck, and we'll get there. But backstage, 3/4 of the Undisputed Era are walking, and then the fourth quarter of the Undisputed Era shows up. Kyle O'Reilly, he's back with a faux hawk, and he says,
and a fucking LeBron James beard.
He says, "What are you guys doing? We need to get back to where we were." He goes, "You're Adam freaking Cole, you're Roderick Strong, and you're my partner, Bobby Fish. We need to reclaim what is ours." So, okay, yeah, undisputed.
Roderick, I mean, not Roderick Strong. Kyle O'Reilly, he's back. He's like all of a sudden like, okay, I think I can just do this now.
He's like, you know what?
It's been long enough. I think.
Yeah, I'll just get a mask. It's fine. It sucks. I just don't want to be at home anymore.
It's interesting. It's interesting to, I guess that's, if he's comfortable, I guess he's comfortable. Like, who am I to say that he isn't or he shouldn't, but.
Shotzi Blackheart.
Yeah, like, doesn't he have like asthma? Is that what was that?
I believe it was asthma. Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
But
Come on, man.
Everyone makes their own decisions.
Well, sometimes you got to protect the athletes from themselves also. There comes a time when leadership has to step in, and WWE is not the kind of type of company that kind of just does that.
Yeah, then that's you get in that sticky situation of like treading on people's it gets this weird thing about discrimination. You can't tell somebody not to come into work.
I mean, you can if they're
I think legally you cannot tell somebody unless they're
depends on what's signed. Hey, again, they're not employees. They're contractors, and if it says on the contract that do not be here,
wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Well, WWE's not going to say, WWE's not going to do that though. No, NXT or AEW is not even going to do that. So next match, Shotzi Blackheart, Mercedes Martinez. Shotzi goes right after Mercedes Martinez to begin the match. Robert Stone distracts Shotzi. Mercedes beats down on Shotzi. Hits Aguri to a shotgun dropkick to Martinez. Sling blade to Martinez. For some reason, my autocorrect changed to Shitzy. Shotzi takes over and hits a senton to the back of Mercedes while she's in the ropes. Spinebuster to Shotzi. Release atomic German suplex to Shotzi. Air raid crash. Pin. Win. Mercedes Martinez.
Now the loser of the match has to get the same tattoos as the one that they lost to.
Yeah, I like that.
2 ladies with tattoos and like, hey, you got tattoos. Let's fight.
I will say this is a really good Shotzi match. For Shotzi, this was really good. I think
fair enough.
Last week we were kind of
down on her.
We were down on her match. But I think
she was against Aaliyah though. So
that's true.
It's a big ask to get a good match.
Mercedes Martinez is probably a little bit more giving than Aaliyah.
They're giving her a push. Like I said, another fucking biker tattooed chick that does Triple H only know 3 types of women?
Yes. Bailey, Sasha Banks, and the Rocker and the Rhea Ripley.
Not to get too much on a tangent here, but did you hear about the Observer Live? Brian Alvarez, he pretty much reported that NXT is looking for new writers.
Oh yeah, you want to apply?
Yeah,
sure. Why not? Live in Florida?
No.
What could go wrong over there?
That's interesting. I guess they're aware that NXT has just been in a bit of a pattern as of late, but then again, everything is in a bit of a pattern.
Or they're just gonna fully go like the main roster and hire 20 writers.
But the thing is, if you're writing for NXT, chances are your ideas are just not going to be like, thrown out the window because it's not led by a 74-year-old madman.
But it could be. I mean, who's to say it's not going to be?
I mean, you could say that about, you could literally say that about anything.
Wasn't Vince taking more of a predominant role in NXT?
I never heard any of that.
We talked about this months ago, about how NXT was going to get more of a main roster infusion, and Vince is going to take more of a...
There's only so much we know.
Approach. Well, I mean, we can pull up insert clip here. I'm kidding. Don't do that.
I'm not going to do that.
So yeah, what was I saying? I don't know.
Shades Martinez, get him push.
I'll see you. 6 out of 10. Good match. Good, decent match. Video package for Ridge Holland, who is from NXT UK.
Remember that?
That was a thing. I've never seen him before, but he's from Yorkshire, England, and he fought out of a life of crime growing up because apparently
and rugby, which is the same thing.
Rugby is a crime in and of itself. So,
should be.
He'll be in a triple threat match next week. Keith Lee, he cuts an in-ring promo. He says Dijak's a grown man and will be just fine. He goes, but that other man who thinks the sound of sand is the sound of a clock, which, I mean, at one point in time, it was the sound of a clock because that's how clocks were at a certain time. Lee says what Cross has done is some extra bullshit.
They beeped him. They didn't give him the Jericho treatment. They beeped him twice.
And Lee is whoever's working their audio that last night was not
Jose.
No, it wasn't Jose. Jose would have done a better job. Because Keith Lee is peeking the mic. Keith Lee is just talking like this.
That's how pissed he is.
Just like
Keith Lee, he's pissed off that Karrion Kross holds no regard to Dijakovic's life. Well, Keith Lee holds no regard to the audience's ears or your ears.
Keith Lee calls out Karrion Kross, but out comes Cameron Grimes.
Hey, man.
He's out here because it's not Bray Wyatt, but Cameron Grimes. He's out here because he wants he poke a little fun at Keith Lee. He says, I'm glad, the only thing you did that I don't like is that you dropped that North American title because I was going to take both the titles from you. And he's going on and on. Keith isn't really paying attention to him. He goes, Keith, hey, Keith, I'm talking to you.
He grabs him by the throat and just throws him around.
Beats him down. He beats up on Cameron Grimes. That's when Karrion Kross appears on the screen. He says, Lee did nothing while his friend suffered. I'm going to provide you two choices. One, you give me an NXT title shot, or two, I'll do something you'll regret. And everyone will suffer. But so apparently that scared Keith Lee enough to say, yeah, okay, you get a title shot. Just name your time and place.
Didn't scare William Regal.
No, it didn't really scare. I mean, it scared Keith Lee.
We'll get there. Yeah. But Cameron Grimes, is he like in a qualifying match for the North American Championship?
Probably will be.
And you know what? And if he qualifies, he's probably going to win.
Yeah, I could see him.
I can see Cameron Grimes winning that North American Championship.
Honestly, though, I think
it'd be great for him. Honestly, I think it'd be great. That guy, he can wrestle. He can wrestle. He's a really, really great worker, and like him being the North American Championship, I think would be a great fit for him.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think
if he's in a qualifier, like
I think he will be a champion eventually in NXT, and not
he's just too good. He's just too good,
and not just like the tag champions. Like our next matchup, the NXT Tag Team Champions Imperium against Ever Rise. I don't know why I did the karate chops.
He's trying to be like Derek Zoolander, is that like that's kind of the thing that Breezango kind of goes for. You know what's funny? Now I think Breezango when I see Imperium. I was like, oh, Breezango's coming out. I'm like, oh. No. I see Tyler Breeze as the guy who plays Uno and Up Up Down Down and all those great fucking videos. Like this week's Up Up Down Down Uno video was amazing. I totally recommend checking it out. So excuse me for a second. Marcel Bartel and Matt Martel start the match. So you have Bartel and Martel. Just address them by their first names. No, I'd rather say Bartel Martel. Everrise takes to Imperium. I have a full breakdown of this match, Michael. Who do you think I am? Corey Smith from the
Imperium hits dual drop kicks to Chase Parker. European bomb, pin, win, 5 out of 10. This match was nothing. It was really nothing. It was only just set up after the match when Imperium gets on the mic. They start saying something, but out comes Undisputed Era, and they
who is out there to beat us up to end this segment? Undisputed Era shows up because they're pissed.
They beat the shit out of Imperium.
This was kind of a babyface thing from Undisputed Era.
I thought so.
A little bit. Like they're just one of those. It's like they're kind of going through that thing. Remember when the Shield turned face?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
When they just started by turning face, they just beat up everybody who was anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this sets up for the match next week of Imperium versus Red Dragon, pretty much.
And I think
that's going to be
I wouldn't put it past Undisputed Era to win those tag titles, unless they're trying to write them off completely.
I mean, Walter isn't coming back anytime soon. You know.
Yeah. Who is here though is Bronson Reed, and he has a video package. Apparently, he loves.
He's not there. He has a video package.
Well, he's there.
He's in the show.
He was outside apparently with some graffiti because apparently he loves graffiti and his wife.
That's great.
That was good. Well, he's from Australia. He says the graffiti in near the Performance Center reminds him of his home in Australia. He says he owes everything to his wife because she's the one who gave him the money to go to wrestling school and to follow his dream. And at NXT 30, he said, the thick boy dream will come true.
What's a thick boy dream?
Him being champion.
Okay.
Next up, William Regal. He's on Zoom, and he will not be bullied into a championship match.
And his blown out environment, too. He's just right behind a window in broad daylight. You can barely see him.
It was like, I feel like this was recorded the same time as the video from last week. He says, I have a big announcement. Keith Lee, go on.
Or you think he just and they have to film variations of that too in case shit goes wrong. Like Cameron Grimes.
I think they gave him a list of shit to say.
Yeah. And they just mailed it in there and it's like, okay, here you go.
This is for the next 7 weeks. Here you go.
Good for him.
He says these opportunities have to be earned. So I'm guessing Karrion Kross will probably face Cameron Grimes next week. Or in 2 weeks and beat him, or I don't know.
That's a damn shame if Cameron Grimes has to face Karrion Kross.
It's NXT, man. It's WWE. What do you expect out of that?
I mean, you would expect a lot more with NXT from WWE.
I would rather Cameron Grimes in a triple threat to go to that ladder match.
That's true. I hope Cameron Grimes is wrestling Karrion Kross next week. 1 week.
Not next week. Not next week. Next up, though, Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Jake Atlas. Apparently, Atlas wasn't medically cleared for a couple of weeks, and I wonder why. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Everyone else has COVID, so. The two go back and forth, flipping around each other. Springboard blockbuster to Strickland. Rolling flatliner to Atlas. Spinning atomic drop. These guys go back and forth and back and forth. Eventually, we get
a lot of near falls also.
A lot of near falls. Eventually, we get a JML driver to Jake Atlas. Swerve gets the pin and the win. These guys had a fucking.
This was a great match, dude.
I actually gave this match a 7 out of 10.
I would argue to say this was match of the week. Again, belonging to NXT.
I do too. I think this is match of the week. I do think this is better. I think with the same score as the Gargano Strong match, but I think this match was better.
Wait, then how can you give it the same score?
It does. I mean, there's a strong 7 and there's a 7.
Okay. Then you're gonna have to do sub points too. You're gonna give it if Gargano and Strong was a 7, you're giving this a 7.25.
Sure.
You're going the star ratings. We're going full Meltzer on this.
Yeah, let's do that. I like it. But no, I think this match was fucking great, and yeah,
but not that great.
Well, no, I think it was better than Strong and Gargano.
They're giving the same score.
Yeah. Okay. You don't get my just.
I'm just fucking with you, honestly, dude. I'm just fucking with your rating system, dude.
Damian Priest is backstage with Mackenzie. Priest is going to be in a triple threat match though next week with Ridge Holland and Oney Lorcan.
Priest, that sounds great.
He wants to win that North American title, and yeah.
I don't know what else he wants, man. Probably some imaginary invisible bows would be good for him too.
He already has that. They're invisible.
Touche. So next week we got Dakota Kai and Rhea Ripley in a number 1 contendership match. Damian Priest versus Oney Lorcan versus Ridge Holland. to go to the North American ladder match, and the Undisputed Era versus Imperium for the NXT tag team titles. Like I said, I would not put it past them to give a title change next week.
Not too bold of a prediction, you know. Could very well happen.
Dexter Lumis versus Finn Balor versus Timothy Thatcher. Oh boy, oh boy.
Uh-huh.
So this is a match. Finn and Thatcher begin to go at it while Lumis just stares at them. Lumis at one point does do a forward flip outside of the ring, landing on his feet Ricochet style, which I was pretty fucking shocked on.
Held on to the ropes. It doesn't count. He fucking sucks. Yeah.
All three men exchanging strikes. Belly to belly to Lumis by Thatcher. Thatcher has control of both men when we come back from break. Sling blade to Lumis by Balor. Thatcher then begins slamming Balor's leg into the post repeatedly. Spine buster to Thatcher by Lumis. Uranagi triangle to Thatcher, but Balor comes off the top rope, hits a coup de grace to Lumis, breaking up the hold. That's when Thatcher breaks up the pin and starts to focus on Balor's leg with a leg bar. Lumis then just kind of crawls over and sees his opportunity, locks in the triangle hold to Thatcher, and Thatcher passes out.
He submits the submission specialist.
Well, yeah.
I mean, he's knocked out. Like, he doesn't tap, but then, like, dude.
I will say this. I applaud NXT for trying to build new stars.
Just not this star.
That being said, in no universe that should Thatcher have been choked out.
What do you want it to be? Finn Balor? Like, somebody had to lose here. And if they wanted Dexter Lumis to go over,
it would have been more believable.
If he choked that Finn Balor?
I've seen Balor lose more.
Here's the thing. Like, to me, Timothy Thatcher and Finn Balor represent two things in this match. Finn Balor represents somebody who is too good for the North American Championship. Timothy Thatcher is somebody in their eyes is not good enough for the North American Championship. And Dexter Lumis is just right for that.
He's the Goldilocks.
Yeah. I do not support this fuckery. I mean, not fuckery. This booking against Timothy Thatcher. I think he's one of their brightest spots in NXT as of late, and for him to take the submission victory, like I don't know. I mean, somebody had to lose, and I guess it was Thatcher. So I can't be too mad, because if they did to Finn Balor, it would have been way more of an indictment on NXT in general. But I guess I think Thatcher can take it. The more I think about it, so. It's just, I continue to not get Dexter Lumis, his appeal whatsoever. Like, people like, I guess people like Dexter. People like
artist. He's not a serial killer.
He's a serial killer. He's still a serial killer to me.
Oh, he's an artist. He wears black gloves because he doesn't want paint on his hands.
He fucking went to the same. He borrowed, and Ray Ripley just borrowed the same hair dye.
Yes. Well, they buy it together, 2 for 1 at Sally's Beauty Supply. They have a coupon.
Promo code's in the bottom of the thing, by the way.
Not down there. Don't even look. All right, let's wrap this up, shall we?
Look what time it is right now.
Christ.
Yeah, this isn't great. We're doing this. We're on observer hours.
No, observer doesn't go for 2 hours.
They don't, but then it's we're just too excited on this show.
You have more opinions, and I'm caffeined out.
I'm very curious of the ratings tomorrow. We'll see how that goes.
And follow us if you want to know the ratings. Follow us at Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at CWR4 and 5. And we will see you later. I'm Korey Smith.
I'm Michael Vergara.
And like I said, we'll see you later. Me and Jose will be back on Monday, early Monday, with top 10 wrestling cameos in television shows. That's right. Think of 10 fingers like Diamond Dallas Page, or like Sean Spears, the perfect 10. But we'll have 10 for you, even maybe some honorable mentions. Ooh la la. Guys.
So it's not 10. They're not official.
The official 10, but there's honorable mentions.
They didn't make the cut, but we just want to just let them know that this is pretty good. Exactly. Not great, but pretty good.
Exactly. You don't always want to mention an Aaliyah match, but maybe
Captain Janeway taking a rock bottom. Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you later. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
It's actually 7 of 9 who takes the rock bottom. Anyway, later.